character. Do you know a stand-up guy or a stand-up gal? And are you a stand-up person? Even for just one person. My dad was a stand-up guy, and I didn't know it. Recently I was talking to my mom about love, and she shared a story about my dad. Now, if you've ever heard me give my speech on body language, you know that my parents met on a dance floor and fell in love and got married 1 week later. My mom recently gave me a little bit more insight into what actually happened when they fell in love. She said they were sitting in a convertible on the beach underneath a full Miami moon a few days after they met when my dad proposed. And my mom shared that she'd actually turned him down. She gestured to the hearing aids she was wearing at the time, 2 large transistors in the pockets that were sewn into all of her dresses, and to the cords running up to her ears, and she said to my dad, "I have a hearing problem, and you deserve to marry someone without a hearing problem." And my dad responded, "That will never be a problem. We'll take care of it." And he did. My mom shared that in the many years they were married, when she still had the hearing problem, he never once said, "You're not listening, you need to pay attention." And all those years, he never in any way mentioned her hearing issue or demeaned her or made her feel less than. Not once. She said he saw me as a whole person so I could see myself that way. Now, I will tell you by this time I was crying because I didn't know this about my dad. And my heart was just filling up. And I actually fell in love with my dad again. I thought about how much love they had. It would have been so easy for anyone to use a disability as weakness against their partner, and my dad hadn't done that. My mom went on to share that my dad spent years researching her hearing problem, and after I was born, finally found a doctor at the Mayo Clinic, and my mother had surgery. In fact, he scheduled eventually 6 surgeries. My father researched, interviewed doctors, and arranged every other detail to make those surgeries happen so my mom could hear again. My dad was a stand-up guy. Yeah. And so suddenly for me, so many things about the deep affection my parents had for each other, how they always held hands, how she looked at him with love, even though he was a really tough man to love at times, made sense. For me, this story was a revelation, and it made me think about all the stand-up guys and stand-up women that I know, the people that do the right thing, the right moral good thing, who give of themselves even for just a moment, and whose behavior can heal, change, and inspire you. How they can help you stand up in life by being stand-up people. Some of you don't know this, but my father died when I was in college, and my parents hadn't shared the story about Mom's hearing issue with my sisters and I. And so I'm just discovering this, and I'm so glad my mom shared it. I've been asking friends and my audience members to share stories of their stand-up friends, their stand-up family members, their stand-up people at work. And I've heard some beautiful heart-tugging stories about doctors that have served patients in extraordinary ways, stories about special moms and dads, of support people have gotten through their divorces and job loss and illness and depression. I've heard stories about open-hearted mentorship, and even a story about a guy who talked on the phone to the wee hours so their friend who was struggling could fall asleep, comforted with the phone against her ear. What a great gift to know a stand-up person, and what a great gift if you are one. I'd love to hear more stories about stand-up people, so please send them on. You can write it down, just a few words, or share it in a voice or a text recording, and then send it to me. I want to hear about these people in your life and what they've meant to you In my body language programs on deception detection and my programs on leadership, I share methods you can use to recognize if someone is credible, if they are a person of integrity. And you can read about that. I've got it on my blogs. And good people make you feel good. And giving of yourself, being selfless, even for a moment, can give back to you and enlarge your heart. So I challenge you, ask someone today if they have known or know a stand-up person. Ask for their story about a stand-up person. And perhaps pull your shoulders back a little and bring your head up high and open your heart and know the strength and love inside you always gives you the opportunity to stand up.